All right. Here we are asked to evaluate x log 28, giving log x 64 equal to 3. All right. Evaluate x log 28, giving log x 64 equal to 3. Now, the first thing we are going to look at here, we are going to express this one, log x 64 equal to what? 3, to find what is the values of x. So here, express now, okay, log x 64 equal to 3. Now we know that this is the base, which is the log, this is the base, while this one becomes what? The power. Okay. Now what we do, we now have what now? 64 equal to s as the base, 3 as what? As the power. Okay. So your s here, whatever you have here, is your base. Okay. Now the one that is equal to becomes the power of that base, right? Okay. Now here we now have 64 equal to x raised to power what? Raised to power 3. If, for example, this one was 2, we now have 2 raised to power what? Power 3. Okay, so this is the base here. We also found the base here, raising to power of what? Of this 3. Now, what do we do here? We can now say, for us now to have x, and s is raised to power of 3, we take what? The cube root of both sides. Okay, take the cube roots of both sides. Now, when you take the cube root of this one, it will give you the same value. Now, in the sense that if I say, okay, s raised to power 3, okay, that is cube root now, right? Now, you know that this one now becomes s raised to power 3 times 1 over what? Over 3, right? When you are removing this 3 here now, it will give you 1 over 3. So this 3 will cancel this 3. We only have what? We have x. Okay, that's the cube root now. Now, here you now have now the cube root now, which is now x now, is equal to the cube root of 64. Okay, which means what can you multiply 3 times to give you 64? That's cube roots. When it is a square root, what can you multiply twice? If it is 4 true, what can multiply 4? Now, the only number we can multiply 3 times to give us 64 is 4, which is 4 times 4, 16. 16 times 4 will give us 64. So therefore, this one gives us x is equal to 4. Now we have done this. Now we now come to this now. Log 2, 8. So this will give us, let me come this way. So this will give us log 2. What can we use? What can we divide? No, what can we use to divide 8 to give us the same value? To give us 8. How many times can we use a number to divide 8? 2 can divide 8. Okay, 2 times 2, 4. 4 times 2 will give us 8. So we can use 2 to divide 8 3 times, right? So that will give us 2 raised to power what? Power 3. That means 2 times 2, 4 times 2 again will give us 8. Now, if you look at this one now become what? The power log. So use this 3 to multiply what? The log. So now have 3 log 2. So log 2 will cancel to give us 1. So we now have 3 times 1 will give us what? 3. Now remember, what is x?
4.
S was 4. So from this we have x log 2, 8. So we already have s as what? As 4. We now have 4 times what is log 2, 8 is what? Is 3. So 4 times 3 will give us what? Will give us 12. So this is our final answer. So what you do is to solve this one first to find what is x, because you are told that s log 2, 8. So that means whatever you have here as your s will form the x here, right? Then when you solve this one, whatever you have here will multiply the values of x. Okay? So what we did is log s 64 equals to 3. Now we now have 64. As I said before, this one is the base, while this one is what? Is the power. So it's like you are cross multiplying now. This is just like you are cross multiplying. So now give you 64 equals to x, which is the base raised to power 3. Okay. Now what do we do to find x? We see that x here is what? Is a cube root. Now we now take what? The cube root of what? Of both sides. So when you take the cube root of a value that is having what? 3, it will give you the same value. Just like what I did here. Okay, you have s raised to power 3, then this is the cube root now. So when you remove this one from here, it becomes what? 1 over 3. So this 3 will cancel 3, which now remaining what? X raised to power 1 will give you what? X. Okay, now we have found the cube root of this one, which is X. Now the cube root of 64 is what can you multiply 3 times to give you 64? That will give you what? 4. Therefore, our S is equals to what? Equals to 4. Then we'll now come back to log S2. We are leaving this behind first because we have already found X, which is 4. So we now solve for log 2, 8. So log 2, 8 will give us what? Log 2, 2 raised to power 3. That means 2 can multiply itself 3 times to give us what? 8. So use this power as the power log to multiply what? The log. Becomes 3 log 2, 2. Log 2, 2 will cancel to give us what? 1. So 3 times 1 give us 3. So our value here is now equal to 3. So your S is what? Is 4 times the value now, which is 3. That will give us what? 12. So that's all. Have a what? A nice day. So this is our final conclusion. God bless you. Bye.